We are but a few hours away. We are but a few hours away from episode 6, the finale episode of Obi-Wan Kenobi, coming out on Disney+. You might be watching this after the fact, and if that is the case and the episode is already out and you've already seen it, go ahead and comment down below how you liked it out of 10. How would you rate this episode? And maybe some of the predictions that we make in this episode, or some of the things we call for. Go ahead and comment down below if we were correct or how we differed. Go ahead and put that down there. We'll have a discussion. But we're going to have a talk tonight about, are the Star Wars fans going to be satisfied with Obi-Wan Kenobi? The obvious answer is absolutely not. There's no way Star Wars fans can get satisfied with anything these days. But is it going to be good enough? Is it going to warrant its own existence? Is the finale episode going to be okay enough that we are okay with Obi-Wan Kenobi as a series even existing? Or are we going to watch this last episode and say, you know what, maybe we didn't need more of Obi-Wan Kenobi? Hello and welcome to Coffee on Korriban. Hello, and welcome back to the show. As you can see, I've got me with me, Father Time again, and
live in studio.
Still here in Tennessee, so we're making the most of it. So how excited are you for this last episode of Kenobi before we even start any discussion?
For the episode itself, I'm really excited. Knowing that it's the last of the season, I'm very sad.
Yep. I feel the exact same way. Let's say hello to the people in chat. Dat Boy Steve, here's a sip for you.
Mm-hmm.
Israel Garcia, hello there. Looking forward to today's round of Star Wars positivity. Absolutely. Here's a sip for you.
That's what I'm all about. There we go.
Star Cabal, here's a sip for you. He says, hyped as ever.
Hyped.
Good to hear.
I'm hyped.
Steve says, General Coffee. GX2, here's a sip for you. Thank you. All right. So I kind of echo what you said in that I'm really excited for this episode, but it feels like the series as a whole has been way too short.
It does seem it does seem really short
compared to, I mean, if you think back to the Bad Batch, when we had, well, I don't even remember what it was, 13, 15 episodes.
It went on
a while. It was a long time.
Yep.
And then we got Book of Boba Fett, which was only 7 episodes, and that felt really short. And this feels like we're almost missing out on one extra week.
It does feel a week or two short, especially with all the loose ends I think that are out there.
Yeah. So speaking of loose ends, what do you think are some of those loose ends that absolutely need to be tied up in this last episode?
Luke?
Yeah, obviously.
What happened? What's going on there?
We haven't
even got anything going on. Just a peek of him, but nothing story-wise.
Yeah, and obviously we're going back to Tatooine at this point to see Reva chasing down, Luke and seeing what she can figure out with that whole situation. But do they really even have enough time to explore anything about Luke?
That's what I'm worried about.
I don't know. It seems like at this point there's too many loose ends for them to tie it up in one episode. And I felt the same way going into the last episode of the Book of Boba Fett, where it's like we have all these bits and pieces throughout the whole series. Can they even tie it all together?
And some they left as loose ends.
And some they left as loose ends in the case of Book of Boba Fett. So,
I don't want that.
Father Time, how old is that? Can you tell us anything about the Da Vinci Code? That's pretty funny.
It's a closely guarded secret. I cannot.
It's the code. You have to crack the code.
Yeah, why not? I have the crack.
I'm sure you do.
The code is blown. And I can't give it away.
I don't know how to recover from that. Okay, so other loose ends in Obi-Wan Kenobi. What other loose ends do you think we have? What, the Da Vinci Code blown open with your crack and now the the loose ends for Kenobi. What?
Okay. Here we go.
All right,
Back to
I
live.
gotta play
Live
it.
in studio.
I gotta play a clip or something. Yes. Oh my god.
Oh, it is so good. That's not where it's really good.
All right, serious now. Let's get serious on this.
No, it's really good.
Okay,
We're back.
we're about to talk what's really good. Other loose ends. What do you think?
Loose ends. I think they're going to leave. I think they're going to leave a lot of loose ends between the conflict between Kenobi and Vader. I think that's fair though, because we know it goes on.
Right, and I hope that they have, if they have another entanglement, that they do it well and explain the emotional side of it, and really give credence to the line, "When I last left you, I was but a learner. Now I am the master."
Oh yeah,
I need them to explain that, not just fight.
We've had some
runs
fight.
away.
That's great.
Right.
That's great.
Now, you were mentioning you had heard a rumor about something about they're going to have a fight on Mustafar.
I did hear that.
I haven't heard that. Where did you hear that from?
The internet.
Okay. You don't have any sources for me?
I'd have to go search it up
Okay.
again.
All right. So we were talking about that.
Did anybody else hear that?
Ago.
Am I alone on that?
Yeah,
or did
put
anybody
in
else
the
hear
chat
that?
if anyone else has heard anything about that.
It didn't say flashback or it's gonna be based there, but it would kind of be dumb if they just went all of a sudden we're there for a new story to go back to where it all started. But,
Yeah.
Anybody else hear that? No, put it in the chat.
I certainly didn't. And so for them to be fighting in person on Mustafar, I think that definitely would pretty much break canon, because that's really cheesy for them to go back to the site of their main duel.
It's unnecessary.
It would be overt fan service, and in the not in a good way.
No.
It just would not be good. I was explaining to him earlier, like, what if they had like an engine malfunction in their ship, and they're like, "Oh, the nearest planet to us is Mustafar. Let's stop there." And then Vader comes and they have a fight. Like, that would be completely
Very
unnecessary.
Unnecessary.
I
we got some
wouldn't
comments.
like that.
Right.
All right, let's catch up on some chats. Let's see who else we got.
Oh, see, there we go.
All right, new haircut.
Hello,
no, actually, I just don't have my big giant Princess Leia headphones on.
True.
Because I don't need to hear any audio right now. I hear your audio. Leia Rose is in the chat. Good to see you again. GX2 says can't trust the internet. That's true. Sources, dude, trust me. All right.
Wait,
so
who said that they heard that before? I saw that. Definitely Steve.
Steve heard that too.
Okay.
Yeah, it's one of those rumors where you can't pick out where you've heard it, but it just kind of circulates around.
Too old to fight Vader. I don't know if he's too old, but I know he's out of practice.
Yeah,
but he's picking it up quick.
And so that's another loose end.
That's a loose end. Yeah,
we need to address in this is him coming back to the light side, because if he is just full power Kenobi in this next episode without any explanation, that's not going to be good. There's definitely the loose end of how does he get back to connecting with the Force aside from Qui-Gon, because that's really the only thing in canon that we know of
he's
so
spent
far.
years pushing it away.
Yes.
So
yes, and it is something like riding a bike or like a muscle. When you get back into it, you are going to be more comfortable with it and pick it up a lot quicker than it took you to learn the first time. But how out of practice is he? And are they going to make that transition for him going back into his full power? Probably not full power, because he's really old at this time. I hope they do it gracefully and respectfully.
Yeah.
I hope they include Qui-Gon, because I still don't even know if he's heard from Qui-Gon the entire time he's been on Tatooine. Because you heard him in I think it was episode 2 saying, "If ever I could use your help, Master, it's now," or something along those lines. So I don't know if he's ever heard from Qui-Gon the whole time he's been on Tatooine, which would be absolutely tragic. But it's at least been a while, maybe a couple years since he's heard from Qui-Gon. And that's very possible that it's because he hasn't been practicing in the Force. He's not strong in the Force, that he can't commune with Qui-Gon. So that's definitely...
It might be a flashback.
I would be absolutely okay with that. If it's a flashback, especially from Vader's perspective, let's say he's in his meditation chamber. He's flashing back to the duel on Mustafar. I think they had in one of the comics where it was the same duel on Mustafar, but Vader won.
Mm.
And it was him telling his master, like the reverse of the role, the lines we see in the movie. So there is a way for them to do that it could be interesting. I just hope it's not an in-person fight on Mustafar. That would completely break canon, I think. It would just not be a good thing. Ben was too old to fight Maul in Rebels, and he ended that duel in 3 moves like a chess player. I don't think Ben is too old to put the smackdown on anyone. Yeah, but Vader is too unstoppable.
And he's emotional.
Yep. So, have you seen that fight from Rebels?
I may have.
When Maul finally dies?
I think
I'll have to show you. I'll have to show you that later. And you still have to watch Rebels.
I have to watch the whole thing.
So,
yeah.
But yeah, that's an excellent scene. It's perfect.
What I'm looking forward to, if they do, is give us some more of the emotional wrecked Vader, because he's after one thing in this whole plan, and he's not going to get it. We already know that.
Yep.
Even when he does strike down Ben, he's still not going to get it.
That was a great point you made the other night.
I think a little bit of the emotional wreck of him, and maybe that's why he doesn't get what he thinks he wants. So
yeah,
I have to get that.
And we got a tinge of that in this last episode where Obi-Wan says like he won't see it coming because all he'll see is me. He is so focused on revenge. And that emotional aspect of it, even in the flashbacks to them training on Coruscant, they were alluding to that and saying your lust for winning, to prove yourself and to have the ultimate victory blinds you from everything else. You're too determined, and that is your downfall. So I really hope they play on that. Vader is doomed. That's another question I want to pose to you guys in the chat. Do you think if they do have a duel that Vader wins, Kenobi wins, or it's a draw and something pulls one of them away? What would you say at this point?
I think it'll be a draw if they were fighting.
I'm going to say if Kenobi gets back into his power, back to connecting with the Force, and gets the control over the defensive part of his form back, I think it'll be a draw.
We've already had him
good
pulled
at
away.
Defense. Right.
So I don't hope they don't do that again.
If Vader was going for full force in that duel, Obi-Wan wouldn't have survived. Guaranteed. There's no way. So,
well, he didn't want to just finish him. He wanted him to torture him. So drag him to the fire, and then he wasn't expecting.
He didn't want to kill him right then, and that wasn't the point of that fight. Otherwise, I do believe he would have been dead by that point. So we got Luke and Reva. What other loose ends for Reva do we have to tie up?
Is she dead?
She's not dead.
No,
she's not dead. Israel says, I think Kenobi will have the upper hand and deny Vader of resolution. That's kind of what you were talking about before.
Yeah, he will always be mentally ahead of Vader.
It'll destroy Vader to not get the resolution.
Yep.
And I think I said a couple weeks ago, I want the confrontation between them to have Obi-Wan defensive enough and feeling sorry for Vader, and then Vader just relying way too much on his rage and missing the opportunities to land the final blow. And he doesn't win over Kenobi or gets even defeated by him because of that arrogance and solely focusing on revenge. And that will eat at him because it's the same exact arrogance that landed him in that spot in the first place on Mustafar.
I think we'll see. I think we'll see Kenobi get his Force strength back in the moment that he defeats Vader, which isn't going to be a defeat. It'll be, I think, an escape more like.
Which, now that you say that sounds really cheesy. That sounds like Force Awakens. They're in blade lock, holding it right there.
Yeah.
And she closes her eyes and then opens her eyes and she has her power. Like,
instant.
It's cheesy. I don't like that.
But he's had it. She never had it. It's different.
Yeah. Maybe he has a Force vision and communes with Qui-Gon in that split second.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right. What do we got here?
It'll be a draw, but I have a feeling Ben will make a fool out of Vader before it ends that way.
That would be good.
Thus, the last we met, I was but a learner, because Vader will have learned from this duel. Yeah, because he does appear to be a much more serious in episode 4 on the
By the way,
Death Star.
the last Kenobi episode, I really liked the flashback to the training session.
Yes, I did as well.
That was fantastic.
Aside from the fact that they forgot to de-age Hayden Christensen.
That's okay.
I don't care. I don't
No,
care.
I don't even care.
I honestly, maybe I prefer him how old he is now, just because it's him, to give him the
I've seen a lot of
respect
memes about that though.
I have as well. Yeah. Let's see. The Reva loose ends. I think that's pretty much it. The amount of characters that we've had in the show are pretty small.
Leia's gonna get home safe.
Leia's gonna get home safe. I don't think they'll really involve Leia in this last episode a whole lot.
I think the Grand Inquisitor is kind of irrelevant now. He's back in power. We know that.
The Grand Inquisitor is.
I think he's going to fade away.
And so all of this could be a completely different outcome if we're talking about a second season. So if there is a second season, which
that's true,
we might at the end of this episode get a little teaser, kind of like we did at the end of Mandalorian for Book of Boba Fett, and say to be continued. So we know we are getting a second season.
I sure hope so.
We don't know,
because I don't know if you can do the whole thing justice in 6 episodes.
I don't think so. I really don't think so. So onto the criticism of this show is completely dooming the Star Wars franchise as a whole. People walking away from Star Wars as a whole, not wanting anything to do with anything Star Wars because of this series. What do you say to those people?
They're going to miss out.
Yeah.
Take the ride. It's fun.
Right. And I've been telling people this for a couple months now. The Star Wars that we knew we are never going to get again. What I call true Star Wars.
Yeah.
We're never going to get it ever again. Rogue One had a little bit of it. Some people could argue that Solo had a little bit of it.
Loved Rogue One, loved Solo.
But I don't think
Solo had it as much.
Again.
Solo was fun. Just for the storylines.
I gotta give it a second chance.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to like Solo. But I feel that true Star Wars is gone. We're never gonna get that again. So if you want to still enjoy Star Wars and be a fan, set that aside as the good old days. This is what we had. It's gone now.
Yep.
We're never going to have that again.
Yep.
And try to pick out what you can from the newer stuff. Because when I look at Obi-Wan Kenobi, this series, The Bad Batch, Book of Boba Fett, Mandalorian, and compare them to episodes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, Rogue One, they don't really compare.
No.
And so treating them as completely separate, like, yes, they're Star Wars. Yes, we love these stories. It's part of the same galaxy. But we're understanding that they're not the same thing, and they're never going to be the same thing. We're never going to get a show that is going to satisfy the Star Wars nerd in us in the same way.
Everyone's being Vader, waiting for that satisfaction that they're never going to get.
Nice. That was really good. Oh, that's really good. I got to play a soundbite for that. That's perfect.
Oh, it is so good. That's not where it's really good.
I love that soundbite. That is my favorite. That is absolutely my favorite clip. But yeah, we're always seeking for that ultimate satisfaction, almost in a revenge sense, against the people that made the projects that we didn't like the sequel trilogy. We want a perfect show to come out to satisfy us, and there's nothing really wrong with that because we want good Star Wars content. But I've come to the realization that is gone. The good old days of Star Wars, the golden years, they're gone. We're not going to get that again.
Got it on discs, download it, stream it, whatever you need to do, enjoy it.
Watch it however many times you want, but we're not going to get it again.
As long as we don't get speeder gangs or bikes, whatever.
The Vespa gangs, yeah. Most Vespa.
Oh.
I don't know why I never thought of that before. Most Vespa.
I don't know where that came from. I don't know why.
And whoever is in charge of chase scenes should get fired.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's kind of how I'm feeling about this show as a whole. It's
Star Wars in the last, which is exciting.
It is,
but
very close.
It's in the can. You can't change it. It is what it is. So.
Yeah. There's no last minute revisions they can do. What it is what it is, and we're getting it in a few hours. So it's very, very scary. But I'm not putting as much weight behind it as some other people, as far as like this will make or break the Star Wars franchise.
I never have. That's why I like it much. Yeah.
I want to care. I want this product to be good enough to the point where I do care if it makes a big difference. But the negatives, I really don't care anymore. And I do have my criticisms, as I'm sure you do, for this show.
Yeah, I mean, there's little things here and there, but it doesn't bother me for the whole story as a whole.
Yep. He says that flashback showed Anakin Vader's arrogance has never left him. Another way of showing it this moment is that he is still but a learner. Yep. I think regardless of anything else, a personal headcanon is important. Take what you want and let the rest go without getting too bent out of shape about it. That's a good way to stay happy. And I did have a good conversation a couple weeks ago with the Star Wars Obsession. He's not a fan of headcanon, where you accept what you want to accept in your head and the rest you disregard. He was kind of a proponent of, it's Star Wars. You like it or whatever. Do whatever you want with it. It's all Star Wars. And I'm kind of, I guess, an amalgamation of both, because I believe in headcanon to the point of I don't really like the sequels. I'm not going to go and watch those all over again. But at the same time, I'm not militantly saying, like, no, that's not Star Wars. That doesn't exist. Like, trying to convince other people.
Back to episodes 4, 5, and 6 and seeing them in the theater. I don't ever recall thinking at the time, man, they shouldn't have done that, or they should have done that. I just took it for what it was. And then later you can look at it and go, I didn't like that part. That was kind of cheesy. But I just took it for what it was, and now that is Star Wars.
Yep. So, watch it like an 11-year-old.
Yeah. There you go.
Just watch it to enjoy it, and then you can pick it apart later if you want. But it's been discouraging, honestly, seeing friends of mine on the internet that have put so much weight behind this being a make or break show that they're not getting anything out of it. They're not enjoying it. Maybe a couple scenes they're like, okay, that's pretty cool, but overall they're so defensive about it.
And I still don't understand what's missing.
Yeah.
That would make that crew happy.
Well, put in the chat right now, what is something that you feel is missing from this show?
Yeah,
like,
what do you guys think?
What have they not done very well so far in this series? I think
what they missed. Is there any missed opportunities?
That's a good question. Very good question. And obviously there are missed opportunities. And if you gave me a couple minutes, I'm sure I could think of a couple.
And I know you only get an hour or 45 minutes or whatever it is per episode. Mm-hmm. And you could have endless episodes and explain everything. And so you got to get somewhere in the middle. I get that.
Right.
But in the story that they told, did they miss something that they should have included while they were there?
Well, if we don't get Qui-Gon, that's going to be a missed opportunity. Huge missed opportunity. If we don't get, because the whole reason he went to Tatooine, aside from watching Luke, was to be trained under Qui-Gon. It was the first Jedi ever to figure out how to communicate back to people that are still alive. So if we never get that, that's going to be a missed opportunity. So I don't know. I don't want to be negative about this show. And I might, like I said a couple weeks ago, I might have a positive stream at the end of Kenobi and talking about how great it was, and then have a critical stream and talking about, okay, this was a missed opportunity, could have done this better, should have done this a little differently. But we'll get to it when the time comes. We're only a couple hours away, and then no more Star Wars for how long? I don't know.
A week?
A while.
So next week?
A while.
Not next week?
Not next week, as far as I'm aware. I don't know if the next show is, maybe someone in chat can help me as well, if the next show is Andor or Mandalorian season 3.
Ooh,
because I know those are both coming out. And did you see the Andor trailer?
No.
Ooh, well, if we had headphones, we would react to it. It's really good.
Okay.
It feels like Rogue.
As long as they don't get different actors.
Yeah, it feels like Rogue One.
Oh,
the Andor trailer. It feels like Rogue One.
One of my favorites.
Yeah, it's really good. So I don't know. What else do you think for this last episode that we're going to get?
I think it will be let down on some little aspect. So I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
As long as it's not a big aspect.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yep.
Yeah, and people are always going to find stuff to complain about. But I don't know why we have to talk of it in terms of make or break for the entire Star Wars franchise.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem right to me or reasonable. I don't think I like that. So just
too much weight on a TV show.
Yeah.
It's not a blockbuster production. It's a TV show. Right. Filling in, I look at it as it's filling in gaps where the movies have not, or timelines that we know what happened.
Steve says Andor comes out on my birthday, so when you think Andor, think that boy Steve's birthday. Cool. I'll remember that. I'll definitely remember that and give you a special birthday shout out.
Oh, another Bad Batch is coming up?
Yeah, Bad Batch season 2 is coming out.
Okay.
Which there's a lot of loose ends that they have to tie up with that still.
Are they still stuck on the planet with water?
They left in the ship.
They did?
Last we heard, Crosshair was still there. He's on the bad side. He doesn't have his chip, but he's still on the bad side. He still wants to work for the Empire. He didn't go with them.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of loose ends on that. I really liked Bad Batch a lot more than a lot of other people did. So
I liked it. I just didn't like the 2 episodes at the end. They could have made it one long one.
It should have been one long one.
Whatever. If you think of it in that terms, it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that was the big finale was the first half of that.
Yeah. I'm thinking we're going to cut this short. I'm really tired.
Yeah.
I'm really tired. We're going to cut this short. We're going to do our reaction. And for anyone watching, I'm not going to promise that I'll have a reaction by the time you wake up in the morning, because I don't think I'm going to wake up at 3 a.m. this time to watch it. So it might take till tomorrow night to get the reaction out.
Maybe not. We don't know.
But I will be reacting myself and Father Time. We'll be watching the episode, reacting to it.
I'm excited.
Quick literal review. And Andor is August and Bad Batch is in September. Okay. And then
so July
Mandalorian season 3 is probably a year from now, because I think they just released the trailer at Star Wars Celebration like 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
So, or 4 weeks ago. 5? That was at the first episode of
Kenobi. Now, I was mentioning this the other day, though.
Ago.
But if I was going to, in this in-between time while waiting for these things to come out, if I was going to rewatch one of the series, it would be Kenobi.
Yes.
I think I like it the best.
And I think a lot of people would have to agree
with
that. Out of all the series, Mandalorian, a lot of people say Mandalorian.
I do rewatch Mandalorian, but I get a couple episodes in and I'm like, man, this is going to be a lot. There's a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of episodes.
Yeah. Most people just pick out the couple that stood out to them and they remember and they watch those over again.
So much happened.
There's a lot.
So much happened.
There is so much screen time in these shows that people don't really realize. Like even the 6 episodes of Kenobi as far as actual screen time, like 35, 40 minutes each.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're looking at 2 full movies.
Yep.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot to come out within the same year, especially if there's, multiple seasons. That's a lot. 2 movies worth. And their movie quality. I don't know about the acting in some instances.
Some of the actors. Yeah.
But
it is good. That's not where it's
the rewatch I have to play that again. But the rewatchability, that's the point. But
it is so good. That's not where it's really good.
It's just so good. It's just so good. All right. Well, we're going to start to shut it down here. I'm too tired to continue.
Last comments from the viewers. What do you have?
Yeah. As we get going into it,
any questions for us?
Questions for Father Time. He's been here
live in studio. How's your chance?
Beginning of existence. He's not going to be here forever. Any questions for Father Time or myself? Man, I'm tired. I wasn't this tired before we started the stream.
No, you weren't.
No, not at all.
Coffee's not working.
No, it's not.
I'm out. I'm ready.
You're out? Yeah.
I'm ready.
How do you like that fish mug, by the way?
It's great. Did you guys see the fish mug? I'm holding the tail.
It's so hard because there's nowhere
it's very
to put
difficult
your fingers
to hold,
through.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's what I do. The thumb over the top.
Yep, we got a comment.
Yeah. All right, let's see what we got here.
Camera problems and comments.
Of course. But that's not where it's really good. If you didn't see the shorts, he made his Hoth froth. Yeah. He made his Hoth froth.
I needed Camino water.
And
Hoth snow and soil.
Yeah. And he mixed it up, and it was so good.
Really good.
But that's not where it's really good. It's just... I was just recording. I was so surprised when you just kept going on and on about
surprise. Bantha.
So go watch those shorts that I posted a couple days ago, maybe
the short
4 or 5 days ago.
You can't go wrong.
They're short. So So go watch those. All right, we're gonna shut it down here. I'm too tired.
No other questions.
No other questions. But for everyone that has been watching tonight, if you've been here from the beginning, I really appreciate your time. May the stash be with you, and the beard.
May the beard
and
be
the
with
beard.
you.
Beard is the way.
We just got a visitor. Who is this?
All right. May the stash be with you, and I will see you wherever I happen to see you in the galaxy.